So it all started with the realization that this was a different, more devastating disaster that has occurred, and that we needed to do something, that our country of birth was going to go through a very difficult time, and that we needed to do something. That's how it all started.
The journey began when we have asked ourselves, where should we help? Who should we give it to? Who needs it most? And then we get calls from friends from here, our friends from here, and saying, who can we give the donation to?
And it started with trying to determine how can we be involved. It was a realization that we would do something more. Didn't know exactly what. And it began with all of us saying, well, in moments like this, what do? You go to where it's happening. You look at what's going on. You determine firsthand with your own eyes, looking for yourself, what's going on. And that was a key, because after our family decision, we took a trip. We went to Tacloban, Gail and I, and what I discovered is the resiliency of these folks. They're smiling. They worked with each other to do all of these things, to make it livable the way it is. It's inspiring. It's inspiring. And sad, actually, but inspiring. We gotta go to I can't do this.
The first thing we noticed was the teachers. All the kids were on the road, and a lot of the kids just hang out in the school. And what the teachers did was, they just hang out there just to make sure the kids are contained, that they are not running around, getting hurt. And we were asking them, how are you doing? The first thing they said is, in this place, a little building has 900 kids. And we were saying, 900 kids? How can be 900 kids in this small building? He said, there's 2 sections. They do afternoon and morning. And how are you going to handle all these 900 kids? They only have the 4 box. There's no roof, there's no bathroom. But the kids were just hanging out and very happy that they are just going to be with the teachers, because these are the teachers that holds the community together. And that's what we decided, was to do the schools right away.
You would ask fishermen, what do you want? What do you need? That was what we would do. We would stop by, go to the beach or where the water is and where they live, and ask the question, what do you need? And you have fishermen gathered with dignity saying, what we need are our boats. We don't want to depend on the government. We don't want it that we have to wait in line for the food. We need our boats. And you ask a woman with 6 children and you ask her the question, what do you need? And she says, my oldest died. I have to be strong. I have to live for my 5. Here's my 2nd oldest, that's an honor student, but the school is closed. In our discussion as a family, when we talked about what we would do here, and we just felt that on this one, it's so big, lots of people want to give, that this is one where we would take a personal interest and be more involved.
When I first got touched by this endeavor, which was fairly early on after their first trip to the Philippines and hearing the stories of the damage they saw and the people they met, and I felt compelled to want to become involved. I knew I didn't want to help on the event planning and fundraising side, but something deep inside, called to me to want to help on the execution and deploying of the relief to these areas, to this country.
And away we went, and it was pretty amazing, actually, how in a very short period of time, within a week's time, we formed this team. And we did, imagine we were able to persuade Habitat to Humanity, who does homes, to design a school for us fast. A wooden school with big roofs that are good, better than tents, that will withstand not a Haiyan, but a typical storm. design it fast so that we can at least move people from these emergency tents. And the most amazing thing happened. Within a week or 2 or 3, they designed the tent, and in 18 days, 16 days, I think, they built 9 classrooms. The first 9 classrooms built in Haiyan. And it's just, you know, we returned 45 days later. There was this plan. We recruit a team, a talented individual in Basilia Yao, and you have this team. This is the magic of human endeavor. Put together, trying to focus, and it's pretty amazing what I think has been done in our pilots by multiple groups of people getting together and trying to affect all aspects of the lives of people.
Tonight is about helping people. Tonight is about touching lives. Tonight is about creating awareness for an area, a region, for me personally, that is as far as possible from where I live, but as close to home as.
Ako po si Casimiro Karatay, isang mangingisda. 30 years na ako nag-stay dito sa Barangay Pagnamitan. 20 years na po ako nangingisda. Yung bagyong Yolanda, parang naramdaman namin siya. Sabi namin, siguro di na tayo mabubuhay kasi malakas yung tubig, malakas yung hangin. Kasi kami sanay kami sa bagyo pero hindi naman ganyang kalakas. Nung dumating yung bagyo, yung nanay ko at saka yung 3 anak ko lumipat sa kapitbahay namin. Ako naman at saka yung isang anak ko nandito lang sa bahay kasi binabantayan namin yung mga gamit. Nang pumasok na yung tubig, isinisip namin yung mga gamit namin, tinataas. Pero nang lumakas na yung bagyo, nabagsakan din yung mga gamit, bumalik din sa tubig. Yun, natangay yung mga gamit namin natangay ng dagat yung mga gamit namin. Dito yung nakahiga yung ibang anak ko. Parang magulo pa rin. Parang magulo pa rin sa loob kasi hindi naaayos yung mga gamit. Para kami, yung katapos na ng bagyo, para kami nawala na ng pag-asa kasi lahat ng kabuhayan namin, nawala yung bahay at mga gamit, nawala lahat yun. Talagang kailangan namin dito yung kapangkabuhayan. Pero tulad ng pambot, yan ang number 1 namin kasi yan ang hanap buhay namin sa dagat.
Most of the families here, 70% are fishermen, and we've found that all the boats of the fishermen here have already been washed away together with the most recent typhoon. So we were able to provide them and gather partners, especially with Pinoy Relief. We were able to provide 20 boats. But with the boats that we are trying to give them, we are strategizing on which to really maximize the boats that we have. So you could really see there's a participation between the beneficiaries and the organization and the partners that we have. We would want to really empower the fishermen and somehow see their potential as also to be a source of help rather than just be the ones that are being helped at.
was about 4 o'clock, past 3 o'clock already, and the seawater, big waves came in to this compound of Typhoon Integrated School, and I ordered the community, the people who were inside this campus, to go to a place where it's safer to stay. Only a piece of ball was left. Actually, there was one unit, one building there, 2 classrooms also, totally washed away also. I think this is the only time wherein my mind is being somewhat like refreshed already. We were given 9 classrooms, and the children are so happy. We are thanking so much of these donors, particularly the Pinoy Relief, who immediately help us, give their assistance so that we can stand up again.
We started working with Pinoy Relief when we engaged directly with other organizations, and from then on we hooked up with the leadership. We discussed a number of projects that includes the repair of houses in one village in the E1 Eastern Samar. We rebuilt a number of schools that we just turned over today, and we're happy to announce that this has been really doing well. What is good is that we also are building schools, and these children normally have the place to study and a good school that we build with Pinoy Relief. As a people, we are resilient, and this contributes actually the immediate recovery. If you see around, houses are still in a very difficult condition, but children and family are smiling about it because they see hope, they see future. This support.
I think about disaster response in 3 main stages. The first is emergency response, and that's hours and days after a disaster happens. It's focused on search and rescue, on providing emergency supplies and life-saving basic necessities to help people survive. Recovery can be thought of as a second stage after a disaster, where systems and markets are slowly beginning to return to normal. Facilities that were damaged or destroyed are starting to get rebuilt or repaired, and people are getting back to work, starting to generate income. Fishermen are fishing, farmers are able to farm, and basic systems like electricity and water are slowly getting restored. And the final stage is reconstruction, which is about long-term rebuilding and often impacts local land use policies about where people can or cannot rebuild. Reconstruction is a process that can take years. decided very early on to focus on livelihoods, because here in a fishing town where most people depend upon fishing for income but also for food, we wanted to help families, to enable them to not only feed their families but also start to generate income to support their own recovery. The classrooms are really the center of the community. They occupy an important space in the physical layout of the community, and it's also used by more than 12,000 students who go to school here in Giwan.